No worries.
Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of Tales from the Towers. This is episode 4, so we're moving along swiftly and enjoying it. It was a nice long day for both of us and exciting day. And I basically asked Nico to bring up some ideas what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Nico. What are we going to chat about
Yes.
tonight?
How are you guys? Episode 4. It's running nicely. We're going to get into the habit of getting this done. Um, Quick thing of what's happening in our lives. Our first ever tower was never really a tower. It was a gum pole, not a steel fat 200 mil pole that became our first tower, and we welded and grinded and built in some arms and popped some sectors on it and backhauls on it, and we had our first working high site. And we had a very sad day today that the first pole, TechConnect pole, was decommissioned today. And Arno wrote us a very heartfelt poem that's on our Facebook page and all the socials, so anybody can go and check it out. Arno, you want to give us a bit of background on your poem?
When did we build that pole? It was a fence pole that remember the hell no we won't go story. The farmer said, okay, you'll give us a couple of months to start the business and go on our own, but we didn't have enough money to build a tower. So we spotted this one place where there was a fence pole, and then we went and bought a drain, what do you call it, a sewage pipe at Buco, and mounted it to this pole with wire to the fence pole, and put our first equipment on there. And then one of our technicians got a bright idea of maybe making it a bit higher with the aluminium pipe. And then later the thing stood like this. It was a pole on a pole with a thing that went like that and like that. And we actually had like five or six
It was
sections on there.
unclimbable. It
It was
was almost
unclimbable. There was
unclimbable.
no ladder that we could hook. So yeah, and we built another piece to it so we could hook the ladder. And then one day, it was a rainy day. All our clients disconnected, and then we went up there. The whole section moved 180 degrees, and we pulled it back, and all our clients connected again. That was what, 2017, 2018, I guess, around
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And
In the first year of the business, yeah.
then we built our proper tower next to it, a nice tall tower. And today, finally, Matthew went and decommissioned all our equipment off there, and all the new stuff is on the new tower. And it was kind of a very sad moment for me. It was like memories, shame. We called it Pole, and then I asked ChatGPT to write me a nice poem about Pole, and it came out with something very nice. And yeah, it's on our Facebook page. You can actually go look at it. And yeah, I was a bit sad that Paul has no use anymore. Still there dangling in the wind.
You know what? I had this feeling today of nostalgia about the
Mm.
poll and yeah, sadness. And you know what? They went over into really thinking about our humble beginnings. Honestly, how we started basically with nothing. Um, and I mean, guys start a Wisp and they've got this nice cash injection. They build these fancy towers and yeah, we started with a poll, and that poll's gone today.
Mm.
And makes me think of Andy, Ed Milet with his
Mm.
whole story, his life story, where he started it from, and being humble beginnings. But that's his whole mantra from there is being good for other people, serving other people, his family, his relationships with his dad at the end, still looking after his mother, and he's got an awesome relationship with his son, good golfer, and how that's he's taken that into his work life with his relationships with partners, business partners, his employees, where he's really out to serve. And he's been a mentor, and that's something that we've from day one tried to instill in our in our lives, and especially with our staff as well. I know you got me onto Ed, and you told me the stories. I started watching his podcasts. So I mean, you're a
Um,
bigger fan than what I am.
and I think all the other podcasters, how they revere him and look up to him and respect him, and it is one of those guys that he started working in a kids' orphanage at a kids' hostel, and just looking after the kids and being like a dad or a bigger brother to the kids. And he says you can actually see their eyes, what they need, and all they want is recognition. And in the beginning, they're afraid of you, but later, when they start trusting you, you became their Santa Claus and their dad and their brother and their playmate and their tutor and their teacher. And he loved those kids. And then that's where he said his true passion in life came out, helping other people. And it's a funny story. We were driving with one of our good friends today, Abel Luger, and speaking about Deirdre, my wife's rehab center, and how many rehabs. He was working in the UK as an operation manager for the airports at Heathrow, and wanted to come back to South Africa because he missed the country. He was there for more than 20 years and wanted to get into wildlife rehabilitation and saving the rhinos and things like that. And then he Googled and he got 1,500 companies that were doing rhino, saving the rhino kind of thing. And he thought, are these guys' intentions pure? And it's so difficult because if there's 1,500 companies that actually want to save the rhino, why are they there except for money? You know, if you really think about it. And then he made his phone calls and did his due diligences, and he said the factor that made him decide to invest his time, effort, and money into a specific company was the intentions. People have a bullshit radar from a mile away. If somebody tries to sell you crap or rubbish, they pick it up. It's been inbred into us by thousands and thousands of years of people trying to bullshit us, and your intentions come out immediately. I think that's like the factor that the good podcasters, you can immediately pick up what their intentions are, and companies, you can pick up what their intentions are. And coming back to the point of humble beginnings and having good intentions, and I just think our clients are starting to pick up that our intentions are pure, and that yes, we did start at very humble beginnings, and yes, we did start growing the company organically with Pol. And Paul serviced up to what? You know the
Six
numbers. How many?
six 600, 600. Make it a round
600.
number.
So 600 clients, and Paul, I probably had half of them on him,
Yeah,
and and
it's more than off. More than off.
mm, so it shows you that it's not a lack of resources; it's a lack of resourcefulness.
There we go.
Um,
There we go.
yeah, so I think no, Paul served us well. It's with a bit of nostalgia and sadness in my heart that I say goodbye to Paul. But thank you, he did his job.
Yeah, you know what? That takes us to basically, if you really look at it, one of the most important things about Paul, if we take that to take from that, is grateful. Being grateful, gratefulness.
Mm,
Waking up in the morning, having your part of your daily routine, your mantra, if it's praying, if it's meditation, if it's whatever floats your boat, but each to their own. But if you've got total gratitude and really thankful for what you got, if you've got a roof over your head, if you can have a hot plate of food and you got a job to go to that's paying, you are well off. Honestly, in
mm,
terms of where the country's going and the world is going, you are in the top 10%. If you if you there,
mm,
there's like people really really struggling out there, and
mm,
being grateful and it, being grateful and yeah, it opens your eyes to new opportunities and finding ways to help other people. I don't
but you know
know.
what, Ricky? I've personally, I'm probably in like the autumn of my life, that autumn stage. Don't feel like it, feel strong and whatever. I'm grateful for being useful.
Mm.
Imagine nobody needed you, and all that I want to be is useful. And in the beginning, I chased my dreams and lofty goals of owning fancy cars and a nice big house and a swimming pool in the suburbs. And these days, to me, things have changed. I love the serving people, that servant leadership kind of thing. But I also love building things. Like, I won't say that I'm a builder in terms of an engineer or a civil engineer or somebody that builds houses, but building companies and helping people build their lives. And sometimes I wish that I just had more money to make a bigger impact quicker. It would be so nice to give somebody that I know needs it R1 million. But then again, you take their karma or their life experiences away from them. I keep on
You
thinking,
take,
and
sorry, jumping in there, you take away learning experiences.
correct,
Um,
correct,
we've spoken
correct.
about this at length. If it's all fine and good helping somebody, but if you take away a life lesson, they're going to
Mm.
make the same mistake again and get them in the same hole again.
Yeah, that's why the lotto winners always lose all their money so quickly.
Yeah.
They haven't learned those life lessons. And sometimes I honestly trying to put, and please don't take this the wrong way. I'm really trying, and this is difficult to say. Okay, so I'm a father and I really want to do the best for my kids. And sometimes your kids have to pick up those bumps and bruises and life lessons and um, tough times and losing. And I don't know. Look, I believe in God, and then I cannot put myself in His feet or in His shoes. But if I came to Him with all these prayers, please can I have R1 million or please can I be a billionaire? And He wants to give it to me, but He needs to give me the life lessons to use
Hmm.
that properly. And it's tough sometimes. You ask, you pray, you scrape your
Yeah.
knees through, you ask for help, but you need to go through those life experiences to be able to have the responsibility to use the things that He gives you properly and responsibly.
So let's look at this. Even it's nice seeing growth and it's nice seeing how people's opinions start changing. In some of the earlier episodes of Andy Frisella's podcasts, he's all about. Yeah, I'm not going to curse that much. I normally do. I'm going to try to keep it family safe. But where Andy is all about setting high standards for yourself, and your kids need to set high standards for themselves, and that's where they learn it from. And if you are just fine with being average, you'll always be average. And if you're just fine with driving an old car,
Nothing wrong with
you'll
that.
be fine.
Mm.
And how they've grown in terms of okay, I'm going to stick because I'm still in that. You call it autumn, so I'm still in my summer, if I can call it that way, where you need to push yourself to be better. You need to want the bigger stuff in life, and that becomes a driving force. And but like you said, even Andy and them becoming older, and I think it comes with more success. They are fine with what they've got now, and then yeah, maybe you can
Yeah,
jump in there with
I
what's
think it's
changing in on their side.
so. What's changing is the fact that they're reminiscing and remembering back to the times when they were building the company, and those were the best times ever. Sleeping on the mattress in the back of the store because they didn't have money to rent an apartment. Um, Building up and starting from scratch and having Paul, just starting from nothing and having to use the resources at your disposal and growing and building. And what do they say? It's not about reaching the mountain peak, it's about the journey there.
Hmm.
And they miss that journey, and that's why they're continuously building new businesses and new companies and helping. And that's what the fun part is. I think life is a journey, and there's never an end goal. There's never an end goal. So we've spoken many times. Let's go buy a place in Mozambique. Let's
Hmm.
just go buy a nice place in Mozambique, and then we go visit and maybe retire there one day. But honestly, if you're honest with yourself, how long are you going to be happy laying on the beach, drinking
Not long.
martinis and cocktails.
Not long.
A week, you know, what then? We're going to have that restless hunter spirit and it needs to come out and we need to do something with it. You're not going to do it on a beach in Mozambique.
No, but it will be good for a week.
It will be good for a week. Sometimes you need a break. But let's quickly go back to humility as well. I think humility and gratitude is very, very important character traits that I like to see in people. So the gratitude. Have you got any like what do you call it? A way to meditate on your gratitude and say thank you for things. How do you do that?
I've got a bit of a morning routine, so it's getting up a little bit before the boys do. Gives me a bit of alone time. So, and I've got my little list of the kids in the business, and obviously you, and our employee, the staff. I mean, our staff are family.
Mm,
So I mean, they're really really close. So it's a short little 5 minute really meditate on each one's
mm,
health and each one's prosperity,
mm,
and
mm,
just like a center. Okay, I've started my day. I'm
mm,
grateful for what I've got. Awake another morning. Thanks for everybody, and
mm,
that really praying
mm,
for good envisioning. Manifesting positive things in all the people in my close little circle. What's that story of Crudes with their kill circle? So I've got a
mm,
smallish kill circle with all of you involved. We're really manifesting positive things.
mm,
Yeah, so
mm.
that's my little, and then the cold shower after that. That sucks a bit.
Okay. Yeah. So I do my gratitude when I brush my teeth. I know it doesn't sound long, but I just continuously say thank you for everything I have and think about it. I think sometimes we overcomplicate things. Write down what you're grateful for, make a list of this, and sometimes it's just a little prayer up to God and saying thank you over and over and over for like 3 minutes. Um, so, I, personally, one day when my kids look at this and listen to this, guys, I want you to just keep things simple, simple scales. If you make things too complex, you can't grow bigger in anything. If you look at the top sports players, the top basketball players, guys like the Colbys that were out on the court at 3 o'clock in the morning, what did they practice? The basics over and over and over because the basic scale you can and anything like a meditation or a gratitude. I've got this very simple prayer which I say over and over and over, and I usually say thank you, forgive me, I love you. How does it go? I love you, thank you, forgive me. And what's the? There's a fourth one. I'll remember it now. But if you just say the same thing over and over in your head and really picture what you're thankful for, um, it makes more sense than trying to have all these complex meditations and things. Those things I leave to the pros, like the Buddhist monks and whatever. I think the person that's listening to my prayers is listening to me like a child, and the more childlike I am, the more easier it is to communicate bigger things to him. So keep things simple. Do the basics every day. Humility. Sometimes there's a this is a difficult one. Being humble and being a bit arrogant. How do you learn that? How do you distinguish those two?
Okay,
Because
so
humility is very important.
that's difficult because if you go and look at every, okay, let's not say every, but 90% of the top sportsmen, of the top businessmen, are very very arrogant to a point, and are rather narcissistic to a point where they do back themselves. I mean, there's a so being arrogant and being self-confident is a very very fine line, and I think where the difference comes from being arrogant and being self-confident is when you win and when you are successful, that you can still be humble
Mm-hmm.
afterwards. So you can back yourself, say, I am going to do this. I am going to take the winning shot. Pass the ball to me. I want to kick the last kick. But then when it's done, win or lose, to be humble in the result. And I think that's the major difference there between
Depends.
being arrogant and being self confident.
I think arrogant or cocky is give me the ball, I can do this. You know, I've got
Mm,
the confidence to do this, and I've done it before, done it many times before, and that's why I think it comes out as cocky or arrogant to somebody that doesn't trust themselves to do it. You
mm,
know, yeah. So I also personally think that the guys that we're listening to, the role models, the Alexes and Andys and Eds and whatever, do sometimes appear a bit cocky, but those guys are 2% of the really successful people out there. The Oppenheimers and the really Buffett's rich guys. They don't have podcasts and stuff, and it's such a pity because I'd love to know how Buffett made his millions. I'd love to
mm.
know what his plans were from step one. Document it, and also be a good person and don't harm anybody along the way. That would have been so nice. And share your life lessons. I actually stuffed up here. I read Richard Branson's biography, and something that's stuck with him. He wrote a story of how he and his girlfriend went out on a motorboat, and a huge storm came, and he demanded that he paid the guy a lot of money to go out on this motorboat to an idyllic island. And the guy said he didn't want to, the captain, and he said he'll give him $1 million. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know the exact story. And then the storm came up, and him and his girlfriend jumped out and started swimming, and this guy drove straight into the storm to get out of there. And later he was picked up and saved, and he doesn't know if this guy actually survived. And he says, how could he have been so egotistical? I'll pay you with money to risk your
Yeah.
life for me. That's crazy. Luckily, they did respond. The guy did survive. He came out of the storm. But he says, how dumb was that of him as a young, probably 26, 27-year-old, I'm a multimillionaire. I can pay you to risk your life for me. And if all the other guys would just document their stories and their mistakes that they made in their lives, that would be nice. It'll be nice for all of us to learn.
But if you look at that, that's one of the things that Alex Ormozy is saying is, why should he make all the mistakes that the other guys are making if he can just follow their lead? And it took them 20 years and it can take him 10 years if he just learns out of their mistakes. And I think
Mm,
that's one thing to take from what you're saying. There's
mm,
so many people who's made a success who's not sharing their information, not sharing their story, and it's each to their own. But it's like Ed just wants to help.
mm,
Alex also says Layla in the podcast I was listening this week, where she's making these videos, accountability and whatever, to help other businesses. I mean, they're making it, they're coining it, they're doing their thing,
mm,
and
mm.
there's no reason to keep that for yourself and not share.
Yeah,
Um,
it's all
yeah,
about getting the knowledge, and I think that's something that, for some other reason, people do not invest in knowledge, and that's so weird to me. Alex paid 250,000 US dollars for an hour of somebody's time.
sure.
And I'm trying to figure out who this person was. I've got a very good clue that it was Alex Chaffin. I think he paid Alex Chaffin at 250,000. I'm like 85% certain it was him. Because Alex references Alex Omosi as well, Alex Chaffin. But the point is, every single last cent that you have invested in your in knowledge and invested in learning, and that'll be so nice to um, get ahead really quickly. That's the only way that you can do it. And he keeps on mentioning unknown unknowns. So there's unknown knowns and whatever, but you know that you're good in something. And Alex Hormozy knows he's good in sales. But the unknown unknowns is you do not know what you're actually good at. Sometimes you do not know what you're good at. And he was actually really good at building a licensing business, building, instead of owning gyms and selling gyms and filling his own gyms, he was really good at scaling that business to other gyms. And that's where he made his money, not with his own gyms, not filling his
Mm.
own gym. And that's where you get the knowledge. If you pay somebody and somebody tells you, look, your talents are not what you think they are. You're wasting your time here. Um, build this type of business, and I'll go in with you, and I'll guide you and help you. So, where do we get these mentors? Where do we get them?
I don't know. It's been for me. It's been a journey because you are scouring the world and the internet, and I'm in the lucky position where I'm getting names, you name dropping, and I'm following your lead in terms of. I must say, I think I got you onto Alex or Mosey though,
Mm. Yeah, you
but
did.
yeah,
Um,
Ed and Andy was all you.
but I kind of seem to go overboard with these guys and really just spend hours and hours and hours. Um, have you listened to Ty Lopez yet?
No, you have told me to, but I haven't gotten around
Mm.
to.
He's a master storyteller. Really, really good. I just think sometimes it takes a bit long. Like the 67 lessons out, each is 2 hours long to lifelong success. Just give me a summary. I'd appreciate a summary of this 2.5 hour lesson, but each lesson that he gives really, really makes sense. So he's a brilliant storyteller. The Godfather, the
Hmm.
Godfather, Tony Robbins.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Tony
But you
Robbins.
a big Tony what's it, the Goggins, the Seal guy?
Yeah, David Goggins. Yeah,
David, yeah.
love David Goggins, but I think David Goggins, um, his lessons are that, um, how can I put it? When you think you've pushed yourself as far as you can, you've still got 4 times as far that you can go. And just listening to his life story was amazing. And then there's a bunch of guys around him, Jocko Willink. You must get those books. The what is it? Dichotomy of Leadership. I can't remember the 2 books that he wrote, but Jocko Willink is a very good guy to follow. Obviously, Joe Rogan, I really think he's brilliant, and he's got such a vast knowledge, and um, he likes to interview a vast array of people. Um, who's the other influencers that we listen to and that you listen to?
Uh,
What
I'm
about the basketball coach? Um, what was his name?
and Andy references him a lot.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be nice if I can get his name. Oh
I'll put
man,
that.
that's a
I'll put that in the next episode. I'll do
Mm.
my homework on that one.
He's brilliant.
Uh, I want to ask you a question. What is okay? You guys had a big day today with Wild and Free.
Mm. Yeah, that was amazing. Basically de-owning rhinos for wild and free. I wore my wild and free shirt today. So, with the help of the Aspinall Foundation, they funded the whole process for us, and it was emotional, draining because it's very sad to see these magnificent beasts having to be defaced, basically, so that nobody else wants to kill them. So I was really sad, and the director of Wild and Free of Aspinall actually came to me and said, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" And I said, "No, I feel sad. This is not right. I understand why we're doing it, but it's just not fair. If you hold that piece of rhino horn in your hand, it's nothing. It's light and it smells like Kentucky Fried Chicken, and people are killing these magnificent beasts because there's some myth that it's going to do something for your libido, and it's just crazy that people believe this. And the fact that this amazing animal has to go through all this trauma just to be defaced so other people don't kill it is crazy. But met some
But you
interesting
are saving
people.
their life. You are
Yeah, it's
saving their
100%. Apparently, the poaching ratio on dehorned rhinos are less than 1%. So,
Okay, so no, then
yeah, it was
all
good.
round, yeah, all round good deed.
Yeah.
Then I wanted to ask you your plans for the weekend.
Plans for the weekend. That's very interesting. We are planning to go do a walk in the Kruger. So the whole team, 8 of us, are getting together and just chatting. Deirdre's done it more than 30 times. I've done it like 20 times. And we're going with a couple of newbies. So they just want to get some tips and stuff. There's no tips. I mean, you basically wake up damn early and you walk for a couple of hours. And then at night you have a couple of beers and go sit on a koppie and look at the sunset. And it's the best experience that you can do, sitting on a 50,000 hectare piece of property that you know nobody else is going to be close to. You don't see a car, you don't see other people for about 4 days. And they just stuff you with meat and mealie bread and beers and biltong. And there's nothing better on earth than doing a hike in the Kruger. I can really recommend it to anybody. And by the way, if you want to get more info, I wrote a book about it. It's called Kruger Trail Tales. So by Arno and Nico Joubert, you can actually go buy it for $4.
Awesome.
Give you all the tips and tricks and what to pack and what to take and what to expect. You don't have to be really fit. Once we this was the exception. We walked for about 30 kilometers. We did a 30K hike tracking buffaloes, but most hikes are less than 10Ks, and you can chat to the rangers that with you. So that's plans for the weekend. Going to have a braai and chat about our Kruger trip. You guys, sport. Who we
Yeah,
playing?
yeah. Kids sports back up and running. So Nelspruit
Mhm.
is playing against Menlo Park. So I'm
Ah,
driving through
that's
to Pretoria tomorrow, and then
mm,
uh, Saturday morning full of schoolboy rugby. It's almost,
nice,
yeah, I'm calling it better than Curry Cup rugby. I'm enjoying school
nice. I
rugby a lot,
love it.
and
Since it's
yeah,
been
then
getting TV coverage, it's been huge.
yeah, it's blowing up. It's blowing up.
Mm,
I wish I could get the television numbers that Super Sports schools and everything is pulling
mm,
in terms of schoolboy rugby. Uh,
mm,
you know what? I think it's amazing because you see the passion in the kids' faces, and I mean they're
mm,
playing for their school. So the whole money part is out of it. There's
mm.
no like the professional players and
Amateur
playing
rugby, yeah.
for a paycheck. This is amateur schoolboy rugby playing for the badge on his jersey, um, and the guys go flat out. Obviously, they're all starting to build futures for themselves, but it's still school versus school
Mm,
rivalries and new rivalries starting. So yeah, no, I love it. It will be a long track that way and a long track back. Unluckily for us, Nelspruit is the only
mm.
school in Mpumalanga that's playing in this league, so the drive up and down is hectic, but it's worth
Yeah, be
every mile.
careful. Mm.
We
Listen,
will.
just it's very interesting to me how many of the successful business people that I know of were sports stars.
There is. Don't you think it comes from hard work and
Mm,
exercise and honing your craft?
mm,
If you a kicker and
yeah.
you or like let's take Ed's son, the
Mm,
story of he has to make a
mm,
thousand putts within
mm,
3 feet
mm,
uh, in a row, not allowed to miss one.
mm,
So if you can get yourself to be so self-disciplined that you are owning your craft and working on the same thing over and over and over again to become the best at that, taking that over into business, that's a solid business process for any businessman, is owning
Consistency.
your craft. Consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was
Showing
that?
up.
Episode 3.
Yeah. Doing the same thing over and over, showing up. And also, yeah, I think that's amazing that they actually take that through into their later careers and build fantastic careers because they had the signs were there. They're good in sport, and trust me, the best guys on earth are not talented. They work hard. Talent
Definitely.
takes you so far. Talent takes you so far. And then Kobe Bryant comes in and just does the same thing 1,000 times per day, over and over, and becomes the Black Mamba, the GOAT, the best of all time.
One of the things that I've been teaching Brian and Dwayne from a young age is you need to practice when other guys are resting.
Yeah, 100%. That's how you put the difference between you and yourself. And unfortunately, um, I know I say this over and over, but life is hard. You put the
Mm-hmm.
difference between yourself and your competition on a Sunday.
Yep, that's it.
I know it's difficult. I know it's hard to accept, but look, we're not here to be the normal run of the mill human beings. We want to make a difference to people and we want to make a difference to the world and we want to bend it around our world and not the other way around. I like the thing that Alex Chaffin says is we want to go back into want to go to the future and tear that reality back to our present and make it work here. And it's very difficult, but the only way to do it is through hard work. And that's unfortunately, I think that's what we were destined to do is work hard and make a change.
Definitely. Hard work and being busy is the normal.
Yeah.
Um, what does Andy Frisella say? He hates it when somebody says they're busy.
Mm.
Oh, I'm so
Good.
busy.
Mm.
But what did you
Yeah.
do that was
Wake
productive?
up earlier. Wake up earlier. Yeah. Yeah. Look, no,
Alrighty.
it's just interesting. I think that was a nice episode. We'll wrap it up. I'm really, really excited about this, and I'm really excited about where this is going to go. It's still raw, but and I want to pay homage to Paul. Thank you, Paul, for helping us get here. And then I also just want to say to each and every one of our family that breaks themselves every day for us. We really love you guys and appreciate you guys and thank you for everything that you do for us and to allow myself and Niku to be who we can be and take a day off and go Dion Rhinos and go see our kids play rugby. If it wasn't for you guys, we would never have been able to do this. We love each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you. And I'm very grateful.
Yeah, no, cool. Have a lucky weekend, and we'll catch up
Everybody
tomorrow.
next week.
And next episode next week Thursday. Watch out for
There
it.
we go. Okay. Bye
Cheers,
bye.
Niku. Lucky evening. Cheers, man. Bye.